Hello, folks. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Steve, and I was diagnosed with liver cirrhosis in October 2025. So, this is my daily vlog. I didn't do much yesterday, which is Sunday. It was Sunday even. I popped a short up showing how I make my Indian ice cubes. So that's like an onion, garlic, ginger and chilli base that I put in ice cube trays and then use that whenever I'm like starting off a curry or anything like that. The one thing that I make an awful lot of is a red lentil curry. Not a massive fan of meat, to be honest with you, which from a diverticulitis point of view is probably good on the red meat side of things. On the chicken side of things, I'm not. I don't know what it's like in the States, but in America, in the UK, definitely, they mess around with our chicken far too much with battery farming and putting hormones in it to make it grow faster. To the point where, to buy a proper organic free range chicken is well expensive. But if you sell things at the price that they come at, then volume dictates that you will sell more of them, and therefore the price can afford to come down. But all the time you're messing around with them and growing them super fast and not properly, and modifying them out with too much water injected into them and salt injected into them to make them taste better. It means that those cheap, nasty, modified cuts of meat end up being the volume piece, and the regular stuff just doesn't get a look in, because who's going to pay like nearly £20 for a large chicken when you can buy one for £4 out of the local supermarket? So I kind of, looking at it from an economics point of view, it feels more optimal to just not have the really cheap stuff and then get the stuff that's expensive down to a reasonable cost through volume. But as I've said before, I understand it. If you're trying to feed a family of, got yawns on as usual. If you're trying to feed a family of 3, 4, 5 people, and that kind of, you need that sort of price, especially on the sort of minimum wage in the UK now. You've probably seen this all over the globe, but when I look, my dad was a ceiling fixer and my mum was a stay-at-home mum, as they were. She did a little bit every now and again in the local supermarket or local Sainsbury's, but they could afford to buy a house on that. And these days, if you're essentially minimum wage, you've got no chance of buying a house whatsoever. This is why, like with my son, very much got him into the habit of spend what you want, but if you spend £10 on yourself, you also put £10 in savings that never gets touched. And just trying to instill that ethos into him that, nothing comes for free. You can spend all of your money. And, he likes buying stuff on Fortnite and stuff like that. I'm really anti that type of thing, because I figure, well, they made it once and then they sold it 1,000,000 times at the same price every time. Again, there's something wrong with that picture, right? Anyway, that's getting off track. Maybe we'll look at economics another day and the way things are in the world these days. I did one the other day on subscribing to your life. But anyway, today is Monday, so in the UK it's a bank holiday. I think that's what you call a public holiday in the States. So we are, my ex-wife has been home this morning. She's now round the neighbours for barbecue and drinks. I don't. Of the couple, like I get on all right with him, but I don't like her, and the property is hers, and she, every time you see him, she goes to great lengths to let you know that this isn't his place. You're not going round his garden; it's her garden in her house. And yeah, she's just damn rude. On top of that as well, and she drinks spirits every single day and does marijuana every single day. Don't have an issue with it, really don't. But if you can handle it, and she can't, she's just nasty on it. And I'm not the sort of person who would deliberately put myself in a position whereby I'm going to have words with her in her own house. She can do what she wants in her own house. I just won't be part of it. So, and then you've got my ex-wife calls her the Wicked Witch of the West, and then goes and sits round there every day. Hey ho, such is life. Other people's choices. Not my choices, but other people's, and we've spoken about this in the past as well. I'm not here to judge other people. They teach me more about who I would rather not be, and I'd rather not be someone like my neighbour. So I just stay away from it. Quiet life, peeps. That's all I'm after, is a quiet life. So I've got a few bits to do for the rest of this week. Paperwork and bits and pieces, some washing and stuff like that. I've got my shopping coming on Thursday, so I need to, it's a couple of days away, 3 days away, we're Monday today. So I need to go back into my Tesco app and change a couple of bits, because there's a couple of things that I forgot, which I've noticed I always do. So I have started doing getting my shopping delivery booked sort of like 3 or 4 days in advance, and that gives me a bit of time to remember. Otherwise, if I'd done it like for tomorrow, there'd be other stuff that I just hadn't got, and wouldn't have to wait, but you've got to, you pay £20 a quarter, I think it is, or for 6 months for the pick and pack and delivery service, if it's after 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So you pay for that, but every delivery has to be a minimum of 50 quid. So I try and sort of like keep that balanced. Otherwise, it would be too easy to just spend like 50 quid a couple of times a week when I just don't need to. So I'll be doing that. I I never got around to it. I was just feeling too tired yesterday. I will be making my red lentil curry and some flatbreads this week. So that's another thing to sort of keep me going. I'll try and do that on a day that I haven't got any clothes washing hanging up inside. I think tomorrow is due to be really hot. It was hot today, which is why I'm only wearing a t-shirt. You know that I'm I'm always going on about how much I feel the cold. So I think tomorrow's going to be even hotter. So I'll get the washing out and it can dry outside. And then either tomorrow or Wednesday, I'll do my red lentil curry and some flatbreads, and I'll have that for dinner and then freeze a few portions of that as well. It's one of the few things I don't mind sort of reheating. I think it comes up nicer with age. So I'm going to do that. Anyway, I think that's about it for today. So be nice and be kind. You never know what people are going through. And late as potatoes, off you pop.